evening, hello, welcome. If I could have your attention, please, welcome to this meeting, thanks for coming. We got more pizza than last year, I hope that's working out for you guys.
It is.
Lots of complaints last year. Apparently 18 pizzas was not the number. Couple reasons why we're here. First, I am Ben Vittori, I'm the varsity boys basketball coach. We are here in part to inform you about things that are up and coming. 7.5 weeks away to start. Did I already miss my mark? Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
We're about 7.5 weeks away from the beginning of basketball season, and I'm sure players and parents alike, you are in desperate need of information. We're going to give you that information. And also we want to make some introductions. Now, that could be introductions to ourselves personally. I'll do that for myself and I'll do that for our coaches, but also introduction to our culture, our philosophy, themes that we find important. I like to say that I draw parallels between sport and education. You'll hear me do that a lot. As parents and as students, you have open houses, you speak to teachers, right? You get access, you understand what's being covered that year, what the main topics are, you understand classroom rules. Well, as coaches, we have your sons for 2 hours a day also, right? So we want to make sure we extend that courtesy to you. It is a little odd, I will admit. I've been around a lot of basketball programs. Not every coach does this. It is important to me, so I appreciate you being here. There's a couple reasons. One, I'm still the new guy, so folks are still getting to know me and vice versa. Two, I want to make sure that we establish cohesion, right? And we sort of face out as a unified program. That's also important. I think that leads ultimately to success. And three, especially for the youngsters and the young parents, I want you to know what you're getting yourselves into, right? So basketball is tough. Sometimes I can be tough, and it's fair to understand what I'm all about and what this program is all about. So Matt, I'm going to kind of go off you. I think I covered. Yeah, all right, so agenda, I already mentioned intro philosophy. I'm going to recap last year a little bit. It is Silicon Valley, so I have to have a mission statement, a vision statement, and goals and objectives. I was told that's a requirement. Little staff introduction, season start, and logistics preparation. Now look, some of the philosophy and key themes are going to be somewhat redundant from folks from last year. There are some tweaks. Definitely some staff changes are important, and then season start, logistics, key dates, that's obviously important for all. Okay, me. So, personal introduction. What's important here, I was a ball player, right? I played high school, I played college, I played very, very mediocre overseas basketball. It informs who I am as a coach. I was thinking, basketball was my life focus from the age of 13 until the age of 27 when I stopped playing for a paycheck. It is foundational and important in my life, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But when I did stop playing in 1999, I made a connection in New York City. You know, a guy said, I know a guy, go see this guy, I got a job. And I realized around that time that my network, my job opportunities, honestly, probably the schools that I got into were a result of basketball. I also saw the world playing overseas, made a ton of great friends, and I realized, you know what, I need to give back to this game, and it was at that point I started coaching. Right? That's why I do it. I've had a ton of fun coaching in New York, and I just coach wherever our family has lived. New York, 10 years, won a state championship in 2008. Palo Alto, 2017 and 2018, was part of a staff, back-to-back NorCal finalists, and then obviously Division IV CCS champs last year here at Menlo. We'll get to that in a second. And then very importantly, I did the math on this. People ask all the time, you know, that's about 20 some years of coaching. I probably coached 25 players that went on to play in college. So just think about that. That's probably one player per year, right? Roughly 25 years that I've coached. Other things that are important, I do work in finance. So I have East Coast hours, but that also allows me to have my afternoons free and allows me to coach. We are a family of four. My wife Brielle is right here. I should make the statement that I'm largely here because of permissioning by my family. Time that I have coaching your sons is time that I'm not with them. So I am certainly appreciative of that, but if the Menlo community appreciates me, then you should definitely appreciate Brielle and my girls. East Coast hours also extend to, like, I'm an East Coast dude. So yeah, I curse a lot. That's the New Yorker in me. I will say this, I use profanity, but I'm not obscene. I think an appropriately dropped F-bomb is just something that comes out of my mouth naturally. It's like when I'm riding the subway, when I'm coaching basketball, it just is what it is. I apologize in advance. It's also mentality. We are taking a trip to New York City this year as a varsity, and I'm super psyched because anybody who's played for me, and Coach Forsland knows this when we coach together, I have a saying, you know, I have a different view of the West Coast versus the East Coast. There are some differences. And we can talk about that as we go ahead, but part of me is certainly an East Coast guy. So belief system, I already alluded to this. Basketball is an extension of education. We as coaches are in the education business, right? We want to engage your sons. We want to empower them to be their best selves. Sport is just a vehicle. It's just a proving ground for life, right? I talk all the time about the fact that I think in my day-to-day, you know, whether I'm at work, whether I'm a coach, whether I'm a son, a father, a husband, I like to think, and I went to the right schools and had the right education, but I like to think the things that inform me and make me good at what I do are things that I learned through sport, right? The things that I learned in the locker room. So I believe very strongly in that. Okay, so that's me. Next, that belief system leads us into the syllabus portion of this thing. So look, you know, again, you sit with your teachers, or your parents probably do this, right? And you learn what are the topics for history this year, what are we going to cover, what are the classroom rules, and they hand you a syllabus. And I believe, you know, we should do that in sport, again, as I said, especially given the time that we have your son. So on this board are some things that we, as a program, believe strongly in. They're foundational themes. In one way, shape, or another, last year's players at the varsity level heard me talk about all these topics. I don't want to get into all of them, although if there is a brave parent that wants to ask me about one or two, there are probably some oddball things up here. I can certainly answer them. If not, catch me any other time. I will talk about humble and hungry for a second, because that's a big theme for me, right? I'm a believer that as soon as you have success, you double down on that success, right? You work twice as hard. You don't ease up. And I'm also a believer in the reality that while we did win a D4 championship last year, Priory won D5 and has everybody back. Sacred Heart didn't win anything, but beat us twice and has a lot of people back. King's Academy beat us, has everybody back. So, as a child of the 80s and 90s, my mental image, for strictly boxing reasons, please, my mental image is Mike Tyson, right? Mike Tyson doesn't wear a flashy, you know, outfit going into the ring, doesn't even have music. He cuts a hole in a towel and he wears the towel and he walks into the ring, and it's about business. He's humble and he's hungry. For that reason, you guys might not like this, but I'm just trying to get plain gray warm-ups, man. Lunch pail. Humble and hungry, we show up every day. We still have something to prove. So that's a big theme for us for this year. Okay, no questions about those, right? Grab me on the side if you want to. We'll give you a copy of the deck as well. You can skip marginal gains, please. Okay, so last year's recap. We met 345 days ago right here. What a difference a year makes. What have we done? Successful seasons, I think, at all three levels. Enthusiasm and development as freshmen. Growth and improvement at the JV level. Varsity. Resilience, determination. D4 championship I mentioned. We also did a couple cool things. We created student analytics positions. So not managers per se, but because sports analytics is growing and Menlo's the perfect opportunity to do this, why not have a couple students come and crunch the numbers for us? We also, they did informational sessions, and I think they might even have gone and spent a day with the Warriors to see how they break things down. That was really cool. We'd like to do that again. Maybe we add social media next as somebody that can help us. We also ran a very successful summer basketball camp. We've launched the middle school AAU program. So our middle school kids stopped going over to Sacred Heart Prep in their middle school years. So we achieved a lot of our goals and objectives as a program last year. Still plenty of room, as I already mentioned. So, vision statement last year, this might have been a stretch as I kind of walked in here as the new guy. Our vision statement was to be among the top basketball programs in the Bay Area. Yeah, I'd say this satisfies that, right? But let me make an important point. So if you were part of this win, raise your hand. Okay. I'm gonna correct you slightly. No, keep your hands up. If you were part of the JV last year, raise your hand. If you were part of the freshman last year, raise your hand. Yeah, this is your win too, guys. You know that, right? Right? This is a program victory for all of us, not just the varsity. So make sure you know that. We approach things that way as a program, holistically, okay? All right, so this year, all right, let's just keep doing that one. Let's continue to be among the best programs in the Bay Area. That's easy. I'm not changing that, okay? Next. Mission statement I'm gonna read because I wrote it and it's super cheesy and it's super eye roll, but I really believe in it, so bear with me, okay? Our aim here, to foster a culture of engagement, empowerment, and growth in which we seek to maximize potential for both individuals and for the team as a whole, in which we emphasize consistent actions around communication, constructive feedback, and accountability, in which we promote the characteristics of integrity, inclusion, initiative, strength, resilience, and courage, and in which we affirm an environment of positive attitude, intense effort, and focused efficiency. All of that culminates in a community of character and excellence. Now look, there's a lot of buzzwords in that. Let me just cut it to the quick for you. People and their behaviors build character. Character builds culture. Culture builds success. Period, the end. Okay? That's our mission. Okay, next. Our goals and objectives last year. You guys, varsity guys, heard me harp on this all the time. Be in better shape than our opponents. Be mentally tougher, East Coast, than our opponents. Be hard to guard on offense. Disrupt on defense. I borrowed this from, sounds like I borrowed it from the U.S. Marines. Adapt, improvise, and overcome. However, I will admit, and the varsity guys know this, I'm a sucker for cheesy 80s movies. This is a movie Clint Eastwood did called Heartbreak Ridge. And I was like, yes, adapt, improvise, overcome. And then always finish strong, right? That was a big theme for us. And you'll notice these are all journey related, not destination. There's no wins and losses posted. There's nothing about winning a championship. It's about how we do things. So if you're curious, not at all 3 levels, but how do I grade last year? Well, facts. Be in better shape than our opponents. We could outrun our opponents, but Pleasant Valley exposed the fact that you boys need to be in the weight room. Okay, right? All right. Mentally tougher than our opponents? Yeah, sometimes, right? Hard to guard on offense? Yes. Disrupt on defense? Yeah, we got to get better on D. I want to press more. I really want to bother people, okay? Adapt, improvise, overcome, yes, and then always finish strong. We finished the season 9-1. We went on a 9-0 run and then lost in the States, the eventual state champion, who was 4 divisions below where they should have been playing us anyway. So awesome in terms of finishing strong. So kudos to you guys on that. Okay, so this year, just going to add humble and hungry, right? And again, we're not going to talk about winning another championship. No. We're stepping into the ring with a towel on. We go to work. Period. Good things will happen as a result. There's a great book by Bill Walsh that I referred to a bunch called "The Score Takes Care of Itself." Right, and that's how I believe about. That's what I believe about a lot of the stuff. The score takes care of itself. Okay. All right. Let's do some intros. Okay. So let's talk about some things. So let's start with the freshmen. Derek is here, right? A lot of you guys know Derek probably from middle school years. Derek is our new freshman coach. So I love Derek's enthusiasm. I love his attitude. I love his positive energy. I think that's exactly what's needed at the freshman level. So we're super psyched to have him on board. A lot of you guys know Aaron from last year. Aaron couldn't make it. He's a great individual skills coach, right? And a great coach in general. So he's back with us this year, which is great. JV, Liam, right? Liam Dunn. So I'm going to admit a bias, right? That I have, I feel very strongly about JV coaches. My personal experience as a scared 13-year-old freshman, my introduction to high school basketball was JV coach at my high school. My high school call Sarah the West Coast version of my high school, not the other way around. My JV coach was in the Hall of Fame. He had been a great player, similar to Liam. I really believe that as a Menlo alum, it's super important. And this JV coach was able to talk about it. He knew what it was to play in the intense Friday night rivalry game. He knew what those nerves were like. He felt that, right? So I just think it's super important at the JV level. It was important and foundational for me, so I'm super psyched to have Liam in that role again this year. Kyle Shepard is going to join Liam this year. I'm going to talk more about Kyle in a second because there's another big thing as far as that goes. On the varsity, we still have Matt. I'll talk more about Matt in a second, but now let's talk about Rich Forsland. So Rich Forsland is, simply put, one of the finest basketball minds in the Bay Area, right? Former head coach at Reardon, former head coach at Half Moon Bay. You've won what, like 37 state championships?
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Something like that. So Rich and I coached together under Peter Diepenbrock at Pally in 2018, and obviously developed a relationship and a respect for one another. The fact that he's available is awesome. He's absolutely going to make us better, period. So I'm super psyched to have him on board. Look, when you look at a coaching staff, you kind of look at it in terms of the way you look at players, right? I need to put players in the best situations to be successful, and put players in the situations where they can maximize their potential and improve. I think about coaches the same way. So we've tried to align our coaches, right, in places they can really do great things, maximize their potential and improve, and that extends to me. Rich Forsland is going to help me improve personally, right? Okay, now other items. We've created 2 new positions. So you guys probably all know about my man crush on Matt. It's fine, I can admit that, it's okay. All things communication and organizational come from Matt. I said it last year, I'll say it again. Matt is the most important person in terms of our coaching staff, right? He holds this whole thing together. So we kind of realize, in the sake of efficiency, that if we approach things as 3 different programs, it's just not that efficient. Why do we have to order jerseys 3 different times? Once for freshmen, once for JV, once for varsity. Why do we have to schedule? I'm checking in with Buffy or Earl about the schedule, then they check with Liam, and then Liam checks back with me. It doesn't make sense. So why do we have a director of operations across everything, right? 1 master calendar, 1 order for new jerseys, so on, right? So that's why we created that position. That's going to be great. And then Kyle. So Kyle, who I wish was here, but Kyle is a world-class skills and shooting coach, like world-class, right? And when I thought about his skill set, I realized I didn't want him confined to just the varsity, right? And sitting there sometimes listening to me talk. I want him to be exposed to kids at all levels. So our idea is he's basically going to float. He's going to come into the freshman program, do a 20-30 minute shooting drill, right? And because we all practice at the same time, he's going to walk next door, do a shooting drill with the JV, and he's going to walk next door and do that with the varsity. Let's maximize what he knows. He's excellent as far as this stuff. So we're psyched to kind of create that new role for him. It means Liam has a little bit more of that day-to-day burden on the JV, but I think it's going to work out great. So that's the coaching intro. Welcome to our new coaches and positions. Okay, the important stuff, logistics. We put Teams app up here, and let me just address that really quickly, right? We're gonna send out a survey to parents. Menlo School is on Google, right? You all have Google Calendars. If basketball uses Google, is that confusing? Because most sports use Team app. Do parents prefer to have something separate, or is it easier if it's all in one place? We're gonna ask you guys and take your feedback, and then we'll go from there, but just bear in mind, regardless, if you wanna be on a list, an information list, see Matt, okay? Key dates. Halloween, October 31st, is going to be the first day of tryouts. It's a testing day. This was really successful last year, right? And for the newbies, a lot of basketball is subjective and it's coach's evaluation, but out of fairness to you all, I think it's worthwhile adding some analytics and some objective stats around things. So we chose 4 or 5 drills. We posted them on YouTube. They're here now, so they're still up. So afterwards, you have the QR code, you can get them. And we're gonna test you on them, so we're gonna have an objective baseline. How many threes can you hit in a minute? How many elbow jumpers can you hit in a minute? So on and so forth. It's not something we're going to make decisions around, but it's going to help inform our decision. You take the objective, add it to the subjective. I think it works out pretty well. Football players, right? So who's here? Harry, Charlie, Alec, right? So look, one of the great things about Menlo is the tight community. One of the challenges is the tight community and multi-sport athletes. I'm a big supporter of multi-sport athletes, but it can be tough when seasons overlap, and because football is so damn successful, which is awesome, they overlap by a lot, right? So last year we didn't get football players till like, I don't know, January 15th or something, who knows, right? We're 2/3 of the way done this season, it felt like. But I would like to get an idea from the football players, you guys listening, right, on where your heads are at and where your skills are at. So you're gonna be exempt from any conditioning testing, but at some point during a bye week or some point, and I've talked to Todd Smith about this, but now that your bye week changed, we have to go back and figure it out again. I just need to see you guys in the gym, 45 minutes, get up some shots, do the dribbling, passing stuff, right? Indication of interest, just so we know, because otherwise we can't make final cuts on December 20th, right? That's not fair to anybody, and certainly not fair to those that are out October 31st. So I need some kind of idea, right? And we'll communicate that further. So football players, though, that responsibility is going to be on you guys. So that's a perfect segue into rosters, okay? Look, 15 per team is the number. It's my number for right now. It probably should be 12. At the younger levels, we don't make cuts, right? Freshmen can play. We want to encourage that. We want to encourage fun, development, enthusiasm for sport, all of that. And in fact, if we have enough demand, we'll have 2 freshman teams. Blue team, gold team, whatever that is. We'll figure that out. At the higher levels, look, you know, I'm open to debate, and I'm more than happy to have that debate. I feel strongly, as I said, about the academic component, and I'm going to draw the academic parallel, right? Classroom size matters, right, for your kids. The individual attention and the pace at which coursework goes matters. And if you think of yourself, you know, as a parent of an advanced calculus student, and there are 3 or 4 kids that might be holding up the class and holding up the attention that your child, right, who's going to be a math major and an engineer is not getting, right, that's not necessarily fair, right? So 15 is class size, varsity basketball is advanced calculus, right? And I don't say that lightly, I don't say that glibly. While I did get into colleges because of my jump shot, I always toss out the humble brag that I was a high school valedictorian, right? It's a fact. I studied my butt off. I believe very strongly in academics. So that's why I feel like there's a little credibility when I talk about calculus and sports and the overlap or the parallel that I see. Okay. Weekly schedule, if you're curious, we go Monday, Wednesdays early, 3:15 to 5:15 right after school. That's all programs, where we all practice concurrently in the gym. Tuesdays, Thursdays are later. JV and varsity lift. If we have enterprising freshmen that would like to lift, I would certainly encourage it. But that can be a team decision. Fridays we alternate with the girls basketball program. So one Friday will be early, the next Friday will be late. We get into Friday games pretty quickly, so that kind of becomes irrelevant. Saturdays, look, Saturday I used to be a, you know this, 8 a.m. guy, whatever. Let's get in, get out. But that's not fair to Friday night games, and rest is important. So we tend to go Saturdays a little bit later. I think the JV went at 10 last year. The varsity went at noon. If we had a particularly strenuous Friday night game, maybe we push it to 2 o'clock. But it's about health, and it's about being smart and preventing injury. So Saturdays are going to be TBD. Okay, season schedule. It's done. Okay, it's done. So this is one of the roughest schedules I've ever been around. Okay. Your varsity head coach is a knucklehead because I didn't say no to anybody. They saw us win a title, they want to play us. Okay, right? Okay. So we might take our lumps, but it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. All right. We open varsity now. We open probably with Reardon, who's gonna seed us lower. We'll probably play them in our very first game. We play in Los Gatos tournament, so that's like going to Indiana to play. I mean, that's tough. You're gonna get, it's physical down there, and it's great. So that's all Division I teams. Then things ease up. We play Sacred Heart Cathedral. Then they ease up even more. We play MA. right? So this is a tough schedule. My favorite part of the schedule, by the way, so we are going to New York. I had lunch. I was in New York for work a few weeks ago. I had lunch with the head coach of Christ the King. Head coach of Christ the King, by the way, like, look him up. Sue Bird went there. Lamar Odom went there. 25 NBA players went there. Guy says to me, he says, this could be the best team I've had in 25 years. I said, okay, that's cool. And I said, like, you don't have to play us. He's like, no. You know, we're opening our season in London at a Nike event, and then we're flying out to the Staples Center. Is that near you? I mean, this guy's Queens. He's classic Queens. I'm like, no, Staples Center's in LA. It's not near you? No, it's not near us. And then he says, yeah, but I'm not sure who I'm playing. I think we're playing this modern day team because he's like, you know, have you heard of Sierra Canyon? I'm like, I mean, where like LeBron's kid goes and Shaq's kid goes and Scottie Pippen's kid. He's like, yeah, that's cool. He's like, they ducked me. So I'm like, wait, Sierra Canyon ducked you? He goes, yeah. I was like, and you're playing us? Yeah, okay, fair enough. So we can hang that on our hats. We're gonna play a team that Sierra Canyon does not want to play, right? Good for Menlo. I look forward to that. It might be a rough night, but I look forward to it. So listen. So there are not a lot of breaks, right? So you want to go against the big boys, so to speak, and play a real schedule. There's not a lot of holiday breaks at the varsity level. I have them in here now. So if you got something going on, plan it. You have, you know, December 31st. I'm trying to get us back, or we are back to like 11 or 12, right, for the varsity standpoint. So you can have your New Year's Eve parties and all. You can stay in New York if you like. We'll figure that out. But those are the varsity breaks. Now, at the JV and freshman level, right, you've got December 22nd is the final game before break, and then the next one is January 7th. So if you're looking to go away, if you're a JV or freshman parent, that's your window, right? It's probably December 23rd to January 5th, right? There need to be a practice or two before playing Carlmont. So hopefully that fits with folks. Hopefully folks, I understand vacations. I understand all that. I get it. Prep ain't going on vacation. Reardon ain't going on vacation, right? So I'm hoping that by giving you enough notice, this will work out for people. And also, it's all the way through to year end. These are the key playoff dates. If you got, you know, spring stuff going on, please be aware. Varsity, I expect to be in this. We'll see about states, but I expect to be in this. Although it's going to be tough. You have to be 500 in league or 500 out of league to make the playoffs. Now, everyone should know the league format changed. We are no longer playing 14 league games, which essentially means 2 easy wins against Crystal, 2 easy wins against Harker, 2 easy wins against Eastside Prep, and then who else is 2 easy wins? Pinewood. That's gone. Now there's a power division. We play each of those teams only once. We play Priory twice. 6'9", 6'7", 6'5", Priory, okay? We play Kings twice. We play Prep twice. And who's the other school? That's it, right? So that means league is tough, right? There's no easy wins that are just going to catapult us to playoffs. So we got to bear that in mind, okay? You know, we may be a Division IV champion based on our schedule, and I'm just going to be honest, scrapes by 500, but we'll be the best friggin' D4 team anybody's ever seen, right, when it comes playoff time. So I'm okay with that. Hope you guys are okay with that. All right, Matt says move on. Deliverables, right? We're going to send you a Google form just to make sure you're declaring your interest and your team of interest. We need to know, hey, you know, I think I'm good. I want to try out for JV. Okay, cool. Let us know. Skills test videos are already posted. We're probably going to just test for 2 days. Just be aware. So, sorry, the one thing I didn't say, there's skills videos, but there's also conditioning videos, right? We do something called 20 and 20. I want parents to know about this, okay? You run 20 liners in 20 minutes, but it's an EMOM. So on every minute, you run a liner, okay? So if you finish in 30 seconds, you got 30 seconds rest for the next one, okay? If you finish in 59 seconds, we don't care. You got 1 second rest for the next one. I also don't care that you finish all 20. It's just a gauge, right? If you drop out at 15 because you can't take it anymore, okay, fine, no problem, right? We get it. We're gonna mark it down. It's part of our, you know, analytics, right? People ask me, why do I do this? Well, here's my logic, and I hope this resonates with you. Basketball game probably has 100 trips up and down the court, 50 possessions for each team. Okay? High school court is 84 feet. That's 8,400 feet. 8,400 feet is covered in 28 minutes in a JV game, and it's covered in 32 minutes in a varsity game. Running 20 and 20 is roughly 8,000 feet when you do the math on it. So all I'm asking, are you capable of playing in a full game? I think that's fair from a tryout perspective in terms of gauging conditioning. Just so you know, again, happy to debate, but I always want you to know why I do things. All right, we'll get you team schedules. We'll send out more. We'll send you the survey on Team App versus Google. Your deliverables. Let us know by October 15th what team you want to try out for. Football players, let us know dates that work for you. I'll also discuss with Todd Smith. Sway testing, there's a slide on this in a second. Sway testing is, I think, the concussion testing. Is that what that is? Sam, what is sway? Do you know? Is it just a physical?
That's Aubrey and Steph, but yeah, it's
I know.
Baseline for concussion.
You're, by rule of proximity, I have to ask you because you know, it's baseline concussion, right? Okay. So there's another form that we have. I promised Aubrey we would share that with you. You must get a baseline concussion test, right? I think it's on Mondays. I think it's pretty quick and easy.
If you already did it for a fall sport, you do not need to do it again.
Okay, got it. But you do need to do it if not. So check the box on that. Now, suggestions. Okay. Since I was just calling out Sam, and since I called out our playing against grown men at Pleasant Valley, please engage with sports performance, weightlifting, conditioning to the extent that you can. I think Sam does a fantastic job with that. So please take advantage of it. We still have our open gyms. Boxing, I pivoted from basketball to boxing. I love it. I wish somebody had explained to me or taught me about it when I was younger. And by the way, when I say boxing, nobody's fighting anybody. I'm not advocating violence, right? It's just a great core hand speed, mental toughness workout, supplemental. I think, it can be a differentiator and it can build certain confidence. So I've encouraged returning varsity players to join me on Saturday mornings. So we've already started doing that. Two brave players. You're still alive? You guys are good? Okay, fine. They made it. So we're going to start doing that for the next, whatever it is, 8 weeks. But I have a fantastic young man who's a fantastic boxing trainer who is cheap, and he'll do classes or individual sessions. So if you're looking for something different, right, I strongly encourage it. It's a great core and conditioning workout. Obviously study the skills videos. Hold on, before you go there, I circled something for myself, some additional point I wanted to make, maybe. And I'm almost done, folks, I promise. But I don't want to miss out on something and then regret it on the drive home. Yeah, okay, yes, I'm glad. So, look, a significant portion of last year's success, I believe, and you can ask the players, was due to conditioning, right? We were able to outrun, outwork our opponents, and that really paid off. We talked about it, that's our superpower, right? We run a lot and we're in great shape. I expect the same this year. I'm not seeing 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" walking in, getting a slice of pizza right now. So we're gonna have to outwork people. And I will just give you young guys these words of advice, okay? Showing up for study hall does not necessarily mean you're getting a good grade. So while open gym is there and it's study hall, it might not be enough, right? Just be aware, you got 8 weeks now. It might not be enough, so just understand that, stick that in your back pocket. Okay, am I done? Okay, yeah, here's sway testing. We can let's see, every Monday at 4 p.m. So you probably have something in your inbox on this, so I'm not gonna belabor it. Here's Matt's social. Look how organized he is. This is amazing. See what I'm saying? The man crush is real. Okay, next. All right. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so what time is it? How long did I talk? This is the longest, by the way. It's the longest.
34 minutes.
Oh crap! Sorry. This is you guys know I give like a 3-minute pregame speech, right? About. Really, Brooks?
Stories.
Sorry, they're only 3 minutes.
So look, if you have 2 more minutes, right? Do we have 2 more minutes, or are you guys done? You're good? 2 more minutes. All right, I'm gonna tell you. Let me. Not that this isn't from the heart, but let me give you something a little more tangible to close this thing out, okay? And how I think about basketball and think about the opportunity. So, I'm not an especially political guy, but one of my former teammates in Malta is like running for the Prime Ministry of Malta. It's cool, talk to him. I'm not a practicing Catholic, but when I played in Ireland, me and my teammates worked out in like the holiest of holy areas called Glendalough. I got to do that, right? I'm not a Muslim, but playing basketball in Mauritius, I broke Ramadan eating chicken biryani with my teammates outside a mosque at 12:01 a.m. or whatever it was, right? I'm not Chinese, but I've eaten 100-year eggs and eaten fruit bat, at a Chinese New Year's, right? You might hear these things and say, oh wow, Ben, that's amazing, you're amazing. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Stop. Stop. That wasn't the eye roll part, not yet. It's not, and this is a serious point, right? It's basketball, right? Basketball got me that. Basketball, other than wife and daughters, is the greatest gift I've ever been given, right? It allowed me to see the world, to do these things, to have these experiences, okay? And I'm incredibly passionate about sharing that opportunity and sharing those lessons, right? I like to talk about things more holistically than just a basketball court with players, which is why I coach. But I want to leave you with this, right? That while all those opportunities came from basketball, and basketball was the vehicle, right? Basketball did not just happen to me. I did basketball, okay? I went and got it. I earned it, right? I did the work. And the things that we talk about here, do the work, right? We talk about preparation, Sun Tzu's Art of War, that the battle is won or lost before it's ever fought. Or I prefer Muhammad Ali, where he said, the fight is won or lost alone, out on the road or in the gym in the heavy bag long before I dance under those lights, right? It's work, it's preparation. And whether we're talking about making a basketball team, or whether we're talking about anything else in life you guys do, right? Hard work always overcomes talent that doesn't work hard, okay? And I believe that my hard work helped me experience amazing things around the world. Maybe that's your vision, or not. Maybe your vision is I want to be a coder at Google. Well, you're gonna have to work hard, right? It's not gonna be handed to you. And when you get to Harvard or Princeton or whatever your preferred outcome is, you might be face to face with somebody where you realize that you were the talent, but they worked hard, and they might get the internship that you want, right? So I understand we're in a cozy, nice Menlo bubble, but I think part of my job as an East Coaster, part of my job as a basketball coach, and I think educator, sometimes burst that bubble a little bit, right? And I think that's the experience that ultimately we offer your boys, okay? That's my close. Do we have any questions from the audience? Crickets are good or not good?
That means you were clear and concise.
Are you thinking about an aspiration in high school level?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Excellent question. Derek says yes. So we launched AAU for middle school. So I will be very transparent in saying my personal interest is no, mainly because my wife will kill me. I give what I can give. Absolutely, if the demand is there and we can have the coaches who support it, absolutely we'll do it. I will not say no. I'm much more of a hey, why not versus a why guy. So yeah, that's fine. It won't be me, I will say that. But we have very talented and capable coaches that can do that, right? If the demand is there, and if the middle school program works and takes off, which we think it will. So yeah, good question. What else? Youngsters, anything? You guys scared yet? Good. Bring your running shoes, try-ons. Bring your running shoes. You don't run 20 and 20 in basketball sneakers. Okay, so that's it for me. I'm going to hang around. If anybody has any questions or anything additional on the side, but hang on. Also, ask varsity guys too, right? They're here. They're accessible. They'll be honest about things. So thank you for coming. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in about 7.5 weeks.